Good evening. I, Dr. Lasagna Flowers Ivory, Vice President of the Duncanville ISD School Board, call this meeting of the Duncanville Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of the Board of Trustees is present, that the meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Good evening again. Our mission at Duncanville ISD is to engage, equip, and empower all scholars to achieve their unique potential. We will now go into opening ceremonies. At this time, we will have the invocation. Please close your eyes or bow your heads if you're comfortable with that. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunity to serve children. Help us to remember and honor you in all that we do. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. At this time, we'll have the pledge. Please stand. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated. We will now move to the superintendent's report. Dr. Smith.
Thank you, Madam Vice President and board members and those that are in attendance today. It's good to see you all this evening. I have a few items that I want to share with everyone under the superintendent's report. The first item would just like to share related to our homecoming. This is homecoming week. It's that time of the year our community comes together and we celebrate and honor Duncanville High School. Alumni come in from all across the country, and it's just a great week to be able to celebrate all that is Duncanville ISD. The students have a theme for each day of the week where they are dressing in line with a certain theme, and of course there are a lot of great fun activities that will take place during this week. And of course our football game is on Thursday versus Skyline High School. And our halftime, the 2023 homecoming court will be presented, and of course the homecoming king and queen will be decided. So we're looking forward to a great opportunity to celebrate all that's Duncanville and our students, and a great homecoming week. It should be great weather and a great football game, so looking forward to that. The next item that I have for you is our student coat drive. You know, taking care of students is a major theme for our school board, and we are so appreciative of that. One of our 5 goals in Duncanville is to focus on students, families, and making community connections. And so this board is committed to the students and families and making those community connections. And over the last several years, I believe this is year 6, I believe, we have been fortunate enough for our board to take place in initiating the 6th annual, I guess I should look at my own report, huh? But the 6th annual student coat drive. But over the years, our board has been committed and has demonstrated great passion for really doing the kind of things that have an impact on the lives of our students, and this coat drive is one example. And I wanted to make sure I gave time to say thank you to our board and just to promote the coat drive. The deadline to donate is October 25th, and over the years the coat drive has provided hundreds of students with coats and warm attire during those cold months. Perfect timing. Trustee Cassandra Phillips, major player in implementing the coat drive. So we're very fortunate for that, very excited about that, and wanted to make sure everyone who wanted an opportunity to donate understands what the deadline is. And again, thank you, board, for all that you do to make a difference in our community. The next item that I have is the Holsworth Center update. Board, first of all, as you know, the leadership team and I have been fortunate enough to participate in the Holsworth District Leadership Program. And our September session focused on building the principal pipeline, and we toured the HEB stores. I wanted to give you an update on some of the things that we did. So on the first day, we did a deep study of the vision that HEB has for their organization. And we were able to make connections from the vision of a major retail store to the vision and strategic planning that we have in place in the school district. We studied HEB's vision, which they call the Bold Promise, and it's their commitment to build the greatest retailing company in the world. And the Bold Promise focuses on customer service, which of course is something that we in our school district value and want to also make a priority. Their second Bold Promise is attaining, developing, and retaining quality staff. That is also a priority for us in the school district. Their third priority is strategic innovation, and it's all about strategic planning and thinking and making sure that you're being innovative in the work that you're doing. And then their fourth priority is making communities better. And obviously, we tie in the previous report was centered on that. So it was interesting to be able to study what another organization is doing in terms of their strategic planning and how they go about that process, and then make those connections for our organization. And that's what we did the first day. On the second day, we got a chance to see what was on paper in real life action. So myself and many members of our leadership team, we got to tour HEB stores all across the Austin area. And so after going through their Bold Promise and strategic planning and understanding how all of that works within their system, we got a chance to see it live in action. And so we toured multiple HEBs throughout the Austin area. We had an opportunity during the tour to walk the building with the leaders, interact with the staff. We had a debriefing session with the leadership at each store, and then a major debriefing session back at the main facility with the higher-ups talking about what we just saw. And so again, it was just another opportunity for us to see in real person what it looks like when a strategic plan is really lived out in an organization, and brought a lot of reflective points for us and our leadership team to make sure that we make sure that our strategic plan is a living document, not just something that is sitting on the shelf. We wanted to have power and move in our organization, and we saw that with the HEB experience. And then on day 3, we began the work on developing Duncanville's leadership definition. One of the things that the HEB organization did is define what is leadership within Holsworth organization. And we're going through that process right now in Duncanville to define what is leadership. And we have a leadership definition team. They have already started that work to define what leadership looks like in Duncanville. And then that work also leads us into our vacancy planning cycle, which that's the process where we are identifying and anticipating what leadership vacancies we may have in the district. And our goal is to develop in such a way where we have 2 ready leaders for every principal vacancy that we have in our district. So that's a process. You don't get there overnight, but we've been able to have a really good experience of seeing this in live and how it works in another organization. And so we are off and running in our own plans and developing in Duncanville. This month, we're going to be touring the Dell facilities. And we'll get an opportunity to see what leadership systems and innovation they have there. And of course, all of this work is designed to tie in to make us a better leadership team. So look forward to giving you an update on the Dell experience as well.
Is Dale also a part of the
Dell is not what Holsworth does. They partner with other organizations and other entities to serve as facilitators for the school districts to be able to come in and hear how they lead, how they develop in their systems. And so Dell happens to be one of the leaders in the technology industry. And so they're partnering with Holsworth, and they're going to share with us this month, actually. So we're excited about that work and what that's going to continue to do for us here in Duncanville. The next item I have for you is an update on our varsity tennis team. We talk about a lot of sports teams in our school district, but in addition to football and basketball, there are a lot of other teams that are performing at a very, very high level, and we want to make sure we give them exposure and acknowledgement. And so I'm really proud to highlight our tennis team this evening. The Duncanville Panther varsity tennis team, they wrapped up the fall team tennis season, and they did a great job competing. A couple of highlights here. We have a senior, Natalia Yanez, and a junior, Jacqueline Linares. They won the girls' senior matches division, and so we're really proud of them. And then we have another senior, Nico Garcia. He won at the #1 single spot. He defeated his opponent 4-2 and 4-0 in the set. And then for the past 2 seasons, Nico's gone undefeated in singles play, so he's 12-0 and 11-0 in the past 2 years for both non-district and district matches. And so the coach is Coach Jordan Jackson. I want to thank Coach Jackson for the leadership that they provide for our tennis team. And so they could not be here this evening, but we plan to bring them to our next board meeting. Coming off the fall break, it was kind of hard organizing everyone back, but we plan on bringing them here at our next board meeting so you can physically meet them and the coaches. But I wanted to highlight their success. And then I have one other item that I want to report on. October is National Principals Month, and that is an awesome photo there of leaders in our district. And I wanted to take a moment and then also pause and offer a moment in case the board wanted to have some acknowledging comments. But, I realize how valuable our principals are. If you don't have quality principals in a school district, you're not going to be able to serve the students with top quality education. And so we really have exceptional principals in our school district. Their work ethic is exceptional. They are team players. They focus on the main thing. Like all of us, there are challenging times that we go through. But what I like about this team is challenging times, they don't weigh them down. They find a way to overcome, keep the right mindset and the right spirit about the work. And that's what allows them to be able to deliver that energy and that sense of focus and that sense of culture and teamwork out in the schools each and every day, whether it be with their teachers, whether it be in the communities that they serve, with parents. People need to have hope, and it's one of the leaders' jobs is to be able to inspire and influence and encourage. Because if you don't have hope, then it makes everything else so much more difficult. And so our principals, they lead with their heart, and for that, I am very appreciative. It's not an easy job. No leadership job is easy. But they lead with heart, and they're Team Duncanville. And they are so open to learning and want to receive learning and feedback. And those are critical attributes to be successful. And so principals, I wanted you here tonight so that I could recognize you in the board, in front of the community, and just share my comments and how I feel about the work that you do each and every day. Glad to be on the same team with you. Wouldn't want to be in the trenches fighting the fight that we're fighting with anybody else. So whatever the situation is, whether it's at the state level and all the challenges that we have, we're going to be in the best position possible because of the leaders that we have on the campus. And so I realize this is the month that we celebrate you, and we should celebrate you during this month, but really every day you deliver, and we celebrate and appreciate what you do every day. So I want to say thank you and kudos. I'm honored to be on the same team with you all and serving with you all. So thank you. If the principals could stand, please. And then I'll leave it open for other comments, and then, Madam Vice President, that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Does any board member have anything?
I
Personally.
do, Madam Vice President. As I look at this picture, I just want everyone to know that I have family on the ground. I have 4 campuses that family is in your veins. They're on your campuses, and I can't tell you the stories that come to me to tell me how they love you, how you love on them, how you've helped them. And I will call out the campuses because I can. So Duncanville High School, you have my family. Maryfield, you have my family. Hardin, you have my family. Reed, you have my family. Central, you have my family. Secondly, I have visited a lot of the campuses for reading celebration or Hispanic Heritage Month, by the way. I was invited to your campuses, and lots of love, family atmosphere. Thank you for what you do. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Trustee Vera Cruz, for speaking on behalf of the board. We will turn the program over to Ms. Connie Wallace.
All right. And Dr. Ivory, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Smith, we have donations that we have received this month that have gone to Reed Middle School as well as to the Panther Pantry. Are there any questions about the donations that we've received?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we are just grateful for our community for their continued support. And I'll move into my next presentation. All right, so each month we honor a student, a staff member, and teacher who goes above and beyond. They are chosen from nominations submitted by coworkers, classmates, or community members. These individuals reflect the excellence and pride of our district, and they are made with pride in Duncanville. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Green to the podium. Please join me here, Mr. Green. Green, okay. All right, so Mr. Green is an 8th grade teacher at Reed Middle School. And when he was in 8th grade, he had an influential teacher that changed the trajectory of his life. This teacher encouraged him to make good choices. This teacher's efforts had such a profound impact on Mr. Green that he was inspired to become an 8th grade teacher. Mr. Green's former student, Andrea, says that she struggled with low self-esteem for years, and being assigned to Mr. Green's class was life-changing. She says that Mr. Green's caring words, his words of encouragement, his reassurance, they made her feel very confident at Reed Middle School. And she also wanted everybody to know that Mr. Green's leadership as a teacher is what helped her to master the Math Star exam. And it helped her with her self-esteem. She said it went sky high because of you. So it's this kind of classroom leadership that has made Mr. Quentin Green made with pride in Duncanville. We honor you today. If there are family members, if all the people in green will please, if Green family will please stand and be recognized. Beautiful. What wonderful support. Thank you. And next, if I can have Mr. Jeffrey Berry to please join me at the podium. So Jeffrey is no stranger to us here in the boardroom. He has been here to sing. He's been here on many occasions. But Jeffrey is a member of the varsity a cappella choir at Duncanville High School, and he is a current tenor section leader and student choral conductor. Jeffrey, you're a senior this year, right?
Yes.
All right. Oh, no. Well, that's good and bad. That means that we're losing you at benefits. Okay. He has been a part of the choir he has been a part of the choir for most of his school career, starting at Smith Elementary School. His talent and dedication to the choir has led to many high achievements. He has made it to TMEA All-State Choir since his freshman year and served as the vice president for the choral department. Jeffrey has been a UIL Division I soloist since his sophomore year and a part of the Duncanville High School Chamber Singers UIL Division I Ensemble. Wow, Jeffrey. Even though the choir is a large part of Jeffrey's life, it doesn't consume every part. He is a member of the DHS Culinary Club, where he serves as vice president. He is also the chapter president of Kudos, which is a youth leadership organization as a part of the Phi Delta Kappa Delta Epsilon chapter. And he's president, all right, of the Southwest region. So despite the accolades, Jeffrey remains humble and has a posture of servant leadership in his school and the community. He is school pride in motion and an example of what Duncanville ISD produces from elementary school through high school. The fullness of Jeffrey Berry is why he is made with pride in Duncanville. All right. If the Berry family. Thank you. All right, Jeffrey, you may be seated.
It's not working. Just move forward.
Talking as loudly as I can. All right. Miss Telsa is a self-contained specialist in the special education department, and she is an advocate for her students' welfare and their education. And this means a lot to her to be able to do this job every single day. According to her colleague, Terrell Lockett, she is a true advocate for special education students, the staff that works with them, and their parents. According to Mr. Lockett, Miss Telsa is never lackadaisical. She puts absolutely everything she has into her job because she knows her students are looking to her for support. We are so grateful that you choose to work here in Duncanville and share your gifts and talents with our students and our staff every single day. You are making a significant impact on the lives of our students your support, your nurturing, your consistent professionalism, those are things that make you made with pride in Duncanville. If the family, friends that are here to celebrate with Miss Telsa, if you'll please stand so we can recognize you. Their faces to the screen, and we
Duncanville ISD congratulates the following student, staff member, and teacher who are made with pride in Duncanville.
Hi, my name is Doria Telsa. I'm an instructional specialist in Duncanville ISD. I have had the wonderful privilege of being here for over 15 years. So with that, I've seen kids start off in our ECSC, PPCD to now they're in high school. That's what keeps me motivated because I really want them to be successful in life. And my goal for each one of them is to grow up and be as independent as possible for themselves, as opposed to always being taken care of. I think one of the key things that I do focus on is I see them as kids. I don't see them as an autistic kid or an ID kid. I don't see the label. I see them as a person. And so what can I do to help them make that next step? And being able to figure it out motivated me because I'm working with kids who aren't able to advocate or speak for themselves, so they have to depend on someone else. It's been the best thing ever. I don't necessarily look at this as a job for me or a career. It's my passion. It's what I love to do. And so for me, I know what they're capable of, and so I really want to make sure that they are succeeding in life after they leave, not through school, but once they leave school. What are they doing?
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Berry, and I'm a 12th grader here at Duncanville High School. I'm dedicated because where I'm from, children that look like me aren't always given the opportunities that I'm given. And so whenever I do get the opportunities to do what I do, I try to do the most of it. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of time on your own, just trying to hone in on your craft, and having a community of people that like to do the things you do, that love to sing, and that love to experience music together. And I'm just very thankful and very appreciative for my directors and the people that support us, my choir members, and my mom. She always worked so hard for us. Me and my sister, we've never gone without anything that we wanted, and I just want to make her proud. I would just say, just make sure you always keep faith in God, keep Him first in everything that you do. You can do all things through Him who strengthens you.
Hello, my name is Quincy Green. I'm an 8th grade math teacher at Reed Middle School. It's always a great day to be a Reed Panther. I know that one person can change a life because it happened to me. And like I said, I teach 8th grade because that's when I changed. I decided to play basketball, and my coach changed my whole perception about how to act, how to not worry about the perception of what the statistics said I was supposed to be. And he gave me the discipline and believing in myself because he believed in me to be different. And I use that as motivation. So I try to, more and more I start teaching, I try to instill that into my kids also, because I want them to feel better about themselves. Not just about school, but about themselves all the way. Because I feel like if you build the confidence in themselves, then the work will come with it. Because then they feel confident about how they feel, then they feel more confident about their work and want to do better. Because they feel like they can do better. So I keep on instilling that. Like, I have quotes in my classroom. I have my anchor charts up in the back, but most of my room's gonna be filled with quotes because they get filled with so much negativity. I want to put some positivity into them. That's my main teaching philosophy. Is to get them where they don't want to they can do all things. Like before, every first year of school, the first thing I say is my job is at the end of the school year is make you like math a little bit more than you did when you walked in this classroom. And I think I do a pretty good job of that.
These honorees truly are made with pride in Duncanville.
Let's give them clap for them. So this video will be available. It'll be on YouTube, and we will also post it on social media. And we're having some technical difficulties in the room tonight, but I promise you it works very well. And we are super honored that you guys and your families are here to be supported and celebrated. And this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace. We will now move into closed session. We are back from closed session. We will continue with our agenda items. We will now move to the public hearing to discuss the first Financial Accountability Ratings District Report on the school's financial integrity rating system of Texas. The presenter is Mr. Garrison.
Good evening, Madam Vice President, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Smith. It's a privilege to be here tonight to present the public hearing and information related to the financial integrity rating system of Texas, known as the first report. This is the first report for 22-23, but it's noted there that this is actually based on the 21-22 data. The report is presented to create financial transparency, and it's basically TEA's A through F rating of our finances for the district. Next slide, please. The first set of indicators, actually the first 6 indicators, are considered critical indicators, and they're pass-fail. And these are all related to timely payments and reports for the district, and all 6 were passed. Next slide, please. And they were all 6 passed the previous year too, so there's no change in these indicators. Again, just timeliness of payments and reports. Next slide, please. And the next set of indicators are the solvency, and they are actually generated from reports and calculations that TEA determines and are given a 10-point value. And again, this has to do with our cash position, revenues, expenditures, and things of that nature. All of these are 10-point, and the only one, next slide please. The only one on this that has been a change is actually a change for the positive, and that's indicator 11, which is related to the long-term debt, which would be our bond indebtedness, and we've actually improved our cash position in that, or our long-term position in that by 2 points, so there's an increase there. Next slide, please. And the final set of indicators here, 15 through 20, again, are ceiling indicators. They're pass-fail. I'm pleased to announce that everything has been passed on all of these. And the prior year data, the actual 17 was a fail for material weakness in audit reporting in a timely manner. And so again, that's a huge improvement for the district. And so all of these are passed. Next slide, please. These are the final additional reporting requirements that all have to do with payment or reimbursement between board and superintendent in the district, and we're in good standing in all of those positions. And final slide, please. I'm pleased to announce that we've moved from standard achievement the prior year of a score of 79 to a score of 94 to superior achievement, which is the highest distinction that the district can achieve, is the superior achievement. So drastically improved the position. I think it shows good, again, good financial stewardship. And I again would like to just point out there was a timeliness in reporting 2 years ago with the auditors, but overall financially there's not a huge substantive change to what you've done. So you've been in a good financial position and good stewards of the funds that the district uses, and I think that's another good indicator as we head into the bond election. I think that it says a lot about the management of the funds for the district. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you. At this time, we'll consider approval of consent agenda items. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Sorry. Second.
It was moved by trustee Savage Martin, second by trustee Phillips. Any comments or questions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Did I see everybody?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 6-0, 6-0. Thank you. We now move on to the action agenda, item A. The presenter is Dr. Smith.
All right, thank you, Madam Vice President. Let me get to our action item A. So just to give some context as we kind of unpack this item, our district basically is joining several other districts in a lawsuit against the Texas Education Agency and Commissioner Morath. And there was a timing associated when we had to commit to be a part of the lawsuit. And so I followed through, of course, met with the board president, and we went ahead and submitted our name. What we're doing today is officializing our participation in the board, taking action on that. And so that's what this action item is about. It's to confirm and ratify or memorialize previous actions by the superintendent regarding the filing of litigation against the Commissioner of Education relating to the implementation of the A through F accountability system for 22-23. Our lawyers, Thompson and Horton, is filing the suit on our behalf, and there's an official series of comments that I am required to make in public, and so if you all would bear with me, I'll go ahead and make those comments for the record. Duncanville ISD and other school districts are not opposed to accountability. Duncanville ISD welcomes accountability, and we seek to meet and exceed the standards that are set forth by the Texas Education Agency. School districts aren't suing because they don't want accountability or even because they disagree with the accountability standards being set by the commissioner. That is his right and his role. However, he must do so in a lawful manner under the Education Code and provide school districts with notice of the standards and the methods by which they will be graded and judged. Instead, what the Commissioner and Texas Education Agency have done is very similar to a football team playing the 2023 season under rules that are not clear and not understood, going to a new season, 23-24, still being unclear, and being eventually told, here are what the rules are, but oh, by the way, we need to change them again, and then we're still unclear with what the new rules are. Sounds confusing, right? Yes, it absolutely is confusing. So not only is that not fair for school districts, we believe it violates the Education Code, and the commissioner does not have the authority to do that. The lawsuit simply asks the court to stop the commissioner from releasing the A through F ratings for the 22-23 school year based on the standards that were never timely disclosed to school districts. Now that schools know or eventually will know the metrics and the measures, the commissioner can rate the new A through F refresh for the 23-24 school year. Duncanville ISD has joined a group of 57 other school districts representing more than 1.1 million students in a lawsuit against the Texas Education Agency. The other school districts from the region, such as Dallas ISD, Mesquite ISD, Garland ISD, Irving ISD, Plano ISD, Aledo ISD, Crandall ISD, Forney ISD, Prosper ISD, Terrell ISD, just to name a few in the North Texas area, are all a part of the 57 school districts participating in the lawsuit. The temporary injunction hearing was held on October 10th. That was the next step in the process. And now we are simply awaiting the ruling, and we hope to know the ruling in the next few days. We hope that the court will make a ruling. And so by joining the lawsuit, Duncanville ensures that if the court stops the commissioner, that the ruling will apply to Duncanville ISD, and the A through F scores for the 22-23 school year based on the A through F refresh will not be released. Schools that did not join the lawsuit do not necessarily have that protection. So that's the advantage for us if the court stops the commissioner. And so I'll continue to keep the board and our community updated on the status of the lawsuit. But Madam Vice President and other board members, the recommendation basically stands, which is, again, to confirm and ratify previous actions by the superintendent regarding the filing of the litigation against the Commission of Education relating to the implementation of the A through F accountability system for the 22-23 school year.
Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
It has been motioned and second. Are there any questions? Comments? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passed 7-0. Nope, 6-0. We will now move to action item B, approval of requests for sealed competitive proposals, 23-24.002, fine arts services and supplies.
Good evening, Madam Vice President, Dr. Smith, Board of Trustees. So we know that Duncanville ISD has an incredible fine arts department led by amazing teachers and leaders. To continue with outstanding performances and showpieces, as outside vendors are sometimes contracted. To identify such vendors, the district took a proactive approach by releasing a request for sealed competitive proposal, or RFSCP, on August 25th, 2023. So the RFSCP was for consultants, services, and supplies of all types for fine arts, including not limited to art, band, choir, color guard, dance, speech, debate, or theater. So in addition to posting on our website, notices of the RFSCP were sent to 121 vendors, and the completed responses were received prior to the closing at 2 p.m. on September 20th. The list of vendors who responded included 33 vendors who we've successfully used in the past, and 5 new ones. So vendors will only be used if a need arises. So for example, we may hire a consultant to provide clinics for our band students, or we may have choir uniforms that need to be dry cleaned, and so we send them to the dry cleaner, as you see one of the vendors there. So as indicated on the bid tab, starting on page 105 of the board book, the proposals cover various departments. So as outlined in the columns of the bid tab, contractors listed their days of availability, how much advance notice they would need from the district, any cancellation deadlines, minimum number of hours to commit, mileage fees, cost per hour or day, or any after-hours cost. So for clarity, the RFSCP packet did include a glossary list so the vendors knew what those terms meant. Vendors who provide product were asked to share their discount rate from catalog. So at this moment, I'm going to ask Mr. Paul Doucet, Director of Fine Arts, to expand a little bit more on how the vendors on the list are utilized in fine arts.
Good evening, Madam Vice President, Dr. Smith, and Board of Trustees. The vendors selected represent the best in their specialized fields. These individuals and companies support our fine arts in very specific ways that support our programs. Case in point, we have Jeff Hurd Designs. It's the props for band. They create the props for the band shows, each of the field shows each year, and they are our vendor for that. And so the vendors that are selected support our fine arts programs in specialized ways that frees our teachers to teach and work on the educational aspect, and the other pieces are covered by our consultants.
So based on this information, a decision was made to proceed and award all the vendors with this RFSCP. So the award will be effective upon board approval through June 30th, 2024, and with possible renewal for 4 additional one-year periods. Therefore, tonight we're recommending the board approve the award for RFSCP 2324.002 for fine arts services and supplies for the vendors indicated at the tab. Please let us know if there's any questions that Mr. Doucet or I could answer for you.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
It has been moved in second. Are there any questions or comments or for discussion? No. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you. We will now move to the information and discussion items. The first item is long-range strategic plan review and refresh. Presenter, Dr. Halashka.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Vice President, trustees, and Dr. Smith. I am pleased to share with you tonight's district plan, our plan to review and refresh our long-range strategic plan. Next slide. In February 2021, the board approved the long-range strategic goals, and in July, the strategic plan was fully launched. However, none of us could have predicted some of the influences that would substantially impact our execution of the plan. One key influence has been the lingering impact of the pandemic on our work at the district level and in regards to changes at the state level. In addition to the pandemic, we've faced significant challenges with the revised state assessments and a new accountability system. These changes have completely altered our strategic plan percentage goals because you can no longer compare previous assessments with the current assessment. It's just apples to oranges. And the changes to the accountability system make it impossible to predict our ratings at this time, with campuses being weighted based on size, adjustments to the CCMR criteria, and more. Not to mention, as you just discussed, this was done by the commissioner without adequate and timely communication to the districts, giving, of course, us little time to prepare and adjust. We attempted to get the commissioner to revise the accountability system during the regular legislative session. However, the governor, House, and Senate focused more on harming public schools than helping. Their efforts of increased accountability, increased mandates, vouchers or education savings accounts, and the underfunding of public schools have sent a clear message and continues to be their priority during this special session. But to avoid getting on my soapbox further, I'll just say that all these things have directly and indirectly impacted our strategic plan. On a more hopeful note, though, the pending bond election will have a significant impact on our strategic direction, and our acceptance into the Holdsworth Partnership has been a bonus opportunity that needs to be embedded into our strategic plan as well. Each of these influences have created shifts and adjustments that require us to pause, reevaluate, and refresh to make sure our long-range strategic plan is still viable. Next slide. Therefore, we want to make you aware of our plan to engage in a refresh process of the strategic plan. Please note, this is not a redo of the plan, and that should be clearly understood. We will retain the mission, motto, vision, values, and priorities of the current plan. We're simply going to take a look at the goals and action steps to see what still works and what is no longer realistic or feasible due to the influences previously discussed. Our 5-year strategic plan will then transition to a 3-year strategic plan that's divided into 2 18-month periods. During the first 18 months, we will prioritize half of the reviewed and revised goals, actions, and priorities in the strategic plan. During the second 18-month period, we will prioritize the other half of the goals, actions, and priorities. Although all actions will be addressed throughout both periods, some will be prioritized over others during these windows of time. They will be prioritized because they'll be the focus areas for quarterly reviews, leadership evaluations, and these will be our areas of focus for our board updates. We believe that this approach will allow us to be more targeted in our work and support goal achievement. Next slide. As a district, we value planning and work with intentionality. Therefore, we're looking forward to the opportunity to re-engage with our strategic plan. This concludes my presentation about the review and refresh of our strategic plan, and of course, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? I have a question, Dr. Halashka. Is there a workshop or something happening, or is this done like just via Zoom, or how are you doing?
We will actually put together our leadership team, and we will come back together and review all of our action steps and work through a protocol process of seeing what works and what needs to be revised and changed.
Okay.
I want to expand on that a little bit. Can you go back to the first slide, please? Yeah, I'm sorry, the second, yeah, that slide. So just to elaborate and expand on that. So you see those priorities there, the top 5 priorities, and everything on the left, that is our strategic plan. None of that is changing. What we're simply saying is how we are going to accomplish those things, which is the administrative part of the work. That's what's going to change and adjust. And if you just take a look at priority number 1, and you see, again, this is back in 21. These STAR reading scores, that was based on 21 at that time. Obviously, that's an action step that we're going to have to change whenever we know what the change is. So that's just the internal administrative work that we're going to be doing under each one of our priorities. Don't change, just the action steps within the priority or the administrative work. So that's just ongoing work that we do. And then we'll be updating the board as we typically do on each of the priorities throughout the year.
Thank you. Okay. No more questions? At this time, we will we'll move to our bond election update.
Good evening again. I'll let them. So I'm happy to share with you this evening the progress we're making with informing our community about the bond propositions. Next slide. As you can see from our timeline, we're still educating our voters, and this will continue to be our mission until Election Day on November 7th. Last month, you heard about several of our communication efforts. Tonight, I'm going to share with you some preliminary data about these efforts and how we will continue to educate our community. Next slide. Since the board called for the election on August 21st, a diversified grassroots communication approach has been our goal. Therefore, to date, Dr. Smith and senior leadership have conducted 44 presentations to different groups, posted on social media 29 times, and participated in 4 major community or district events. Our website has been a key source of information for our community, with over 2,000 website views prior to fall break and over 16,000 views of our bond videos. This is a lot of views, and we still have more videos to come. Hopefully, in the past week, you've received information in your mailbox about the bond. We sent out almost 13,000 mailers, some being general mailers and others targeting our 65 and older voters. We have also put out 243 signs around our campuses and have published 13 ads and articles through various publications. Make sure you check your utility bill this month. If you live in the city of Duncanville, the bond is the main article in that newsletter. We're also in the October edition of Southwest Now, and our goal is to communicate all in a variety of different ways to make sure that we are educating our full community. Next slide. Here are just a few pictures of the different efforts we've engaged in. We've passed out handouts at football games and events. Our campuses are posting on their marquees. Dr. Smith is on an endless tour of presentations. Senior leaders have also done a number of presentations at Grandparents' Day, Muffins with Mom, and more. We've made announcements at the different events and have offered numerous voter registration opportunities for families, staff, and our students. Every effort has been a team effort, and I feel confident that our community will go to the polls with a good understanding of what the bond propositions include and why we have called for a bond election. Next slide. Here's a list of just a few key presentations and events we've been part of since the last board meeting. We still have more yet to come, but I hope this gives you just an idea of the efforts that are being made to educate our community. Next slide. We are also increasing our hashtag Panthers Vote effort even more with early voting starting next week. And as I shared last month, we know that less than 3,000 of our registered voters voted in the last election. Therefore, we need to get more of our internal and external stakeholders engaged in the voting process. Early voting starts in 1 week, with Election Day being on November 7th. Early voting will take place at several locations in our area, including the Duncanville Library and the Mountain Creek Library. On Election Day, there will be polling locations at several campuses, including Alexander, Bill Hart's, Central, Brandenburg, Daniel, Byrd, Reed, and Duncanville High School. So let's get out and vote. Next slide. This concludes my updates on the bond educational and informational efforts, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Dr. Halashka. Do we have any questions? Comments? Thank you. Being that there are no further items to discuss, this meeting is adjourned.